Hi everybody, it's Heather, and I'm on day like 7, I guess, of truly gluten-free. And although I haven't been truly gluten-free, I realized that my nut crackers, my almond crackers, were actually nut and rice crackers. So, but I just want to talk about a couple of things that I found out recently, and that is, it's really cool actually. So. I've been researching more on this glutenfreesociety.org, but also the effects that he talked about on there, you know, the corn and how it can damage the lining of celiacs just as badly as wheat. Well, I came across this research study, and I'm going to have to find the link, but there's a specific bacteria called Bifidobacterium lactis that has been shown to mitigate the effects of gliadin on our guts. So like if you have this gliadin or gluten sensitivity, this particular bacteria, it's an anaerobic bacteria, it's in your colon. It also helps to fight inflammation, and so that is really a hard bacteria to find. So you can find it in a couple of products like Primal Defense Ultra by Garden of Life, but Primal Defense Ultra is made with barley grass and oat grass, and it does have rice flour in it. It also has magnesium stearate that I'm not crazy about, but I have gone ahead and decided I'm going to take that because, number one, barley grass and oat grass technically are gluten-free. Number two, the rice flour is going to be a small amount. And number three, you really can't find that particular bacteria anywhere else unless you get Activia by Dannon, and they call it Bifidobacterium regularis. But Activia is just chock full of cornstarch and GMOs. And since corn is my main allergy, there's no way I'm going to touch Activia. So there's one more place, though, and this is what's so intriguing to me, and I just love it. One more place you can get this lactis bacteria is from raw milk and fermented dairy. And, of course, I don't know if you all know, that's how Eden culture started with me with the kefir grains and the kefir milk at the local the food buying club that I was a member of. I sold kefir milk, and then I started selling kefir grains on Amazon. Well, I quit doing that because the FDA, and I'm just don't want a SWAT team coming to my house. But when I did get pregnant, you know, it's been 2 years now since I did. I was drinking raw milk and I was drinking kefir. And I remember this one point in time when I used to enrich my grains with different probiotics, and some of them, I remember one time I put a probiotic pill in there and it just like ruined my grains. But another time I actually dumped a Primal Defense Ultra onto my grains. And I remember worrying a little bit about it because Primal Defense Ultra has that dark green color, and I didn't want, you know, people to think that, oh, these grains have dirt in them. But that is when, right after I did that, I think it was actually before I started selling them on Amazon actually, but right after I did that is when they just started blowing up and growing like crazy, and just I had so many that I had to sell them because I was really just trying to make kefir to begin with, and anyways, for me, and then I sold it at the co-op, and then I, you know, ended up selling the grains, and it was just like this wonderful thing. So lactase, yes, but it is naturally in raw milk, and of course I prefer, and I'm sure if you grow kefir grains you would prefer to use raw milk, because if you've ever used pasteurized and then raw, or even almond milk or whatever, you'll know that it's just ridiculous. I mean, they are meant to be made in raw milk. That's where they came from, was people that stored their raw milk in goat stomachs, and no one even knows where the first grain came from. So here's my epiphany from all of this, which is, are probiotics making us worse? You know, most probiotics you buy have 1 or 2 strains in them, and it's not usually this lactis strain. And who knows what other strains we should have in our gut that we don't know about. And who knows what other strains, Angel, are you sneezing? Poor dog. Who knows what other strains are in raw milk that we haven't isolated yet. And so, you know, if you're going to take probiotics on a constant basis, you're going to crowd out these other strains. And so, like, yes, I'm taking this Primal Defense Ultra, but I'm still in this process where I, more and more each day, want to cut out the pharmacia. I want to cut out the supplements. I want to really go back to the food. Now, unfortunately, since we've lived here in northern Florida, I was unable to find raw milk for a really long time, and my health has suffered for it, and my acne got worse and lots of things. Plus, I started eating weed again. And it's just really ironic to me that, you know, back in Bible days, they would drink their raw milk with their bread. Their bread had 5% gluten instead of 55% gluten. And on top of that, their raw milk had...
Christopher Davis went offline. Christopher Davis just signed in.
Thank you, Skype, for ruining my video. Hold on. So they were being protected. That bacteria, stop it, was protecting their intestinal lining from getting damaged from those gliadins. So who's to say that that bacteria isn't going to protect me from the glutens in corn that Dr. Osborne talks about, which it's not called gliadin in corn, it's called something else. But if corn can damage a celiac's gut, then why couldn't wheat damage a corn allergy person's gut? And if lactase protects celiacs from wheat, why wouldn't lactase protect me from corn? So, you know, we don't live in the Garden of Eden, unfortunately, so raw milk is hard to come by. Also, I just want to say that, yes, you can get food poisoning from raw milk. The most common two bacteria from that would be Listeria and Campylobacter. Campylobacter is completely eradicated by chewing raw garlic, so if you ever get sick from raw milk, chew up some raw garlic. But, you know, if you're but I just am still an advocate of raw milk. I'm sorry. And it is true, though, that you could be sensitive to milk because if a cow is eating corn or wheat, those glutens can go through the milk, which is why I can tell. If I drink raw milk from corn-fed cows, I will break out. If I drink raw milk from 100% grass-fed cows, I am perfectly fine. And I've been blessed to recently have found a source out of Marianna, Florida, and it's 100% grass-fed because I've been drinking it, and it's just, like, fabulous. So once I get myself healed from avoiding all grains and drinking raw milk and taking this bifidobacterium lactase from the Primal Defense Ultra, or you can actually, Cultures for Health is a company that sells kefir grains. They were one of my main competitors when I sold kefir grains, but they have a yogurt starter on their website that actually has lactase in it too, but it's one of those where you just use it one time, you just put it in and it makes yogurt once, and then you have to get a new packet each time. So, yeah, so I would not recommend Dannon Activia because it's just a bunch of crock of Monsanto nastiness. But I hope you found this information helpful, and I hope that it helps me too. But I just wanted to share. So are probiotics making us worse? Well, yeah, pharmacia. Oh, one more point. Pharmacia. In the Bible, in the book of Revelations, it talks about all nations will be deceived by their sorceries, but the actual Greek word wasn't sorcery, it was pharmakia, spelled with a K, which actually is what they would call witchcraft, but it's what, you know, drugs today. It's these mixing of all these different things. That is going to be the downfall of man. That's probably what's going to help, you know, proliferate these plagues if you believe in the Bible. So think about that, you know. I'm trying to get away from pharmacia. So if you have gluten intolerance or sensitivity or food allergies, any food allergies, get on this website, glutenfreesociety.org, and because these glutens and these grains are probably causing the other ones. And also, you're going to have secondary nutritional deficiencies because of that, so you're going to need a little pharmacia to get you back up. But raw milk is also fabulous because cows, you know, they're very similar to us, and so they can live off that and thrive off that. So it's almost like a good way to reset ourselves if it's 100% grass-fed and if it doesn't give you food poisoning. And if you want to avoid food poisoning, I'm not sure about the Listeria, but the Campylobacter, If you leave some space, like if you pour the first glass of milk out and that's like your tester glass and you're like, ugh, but if there's some space in the jug with some air and you shake it up and aerate it, after a day the Campylobacter numbers will decrease and then the good bacteria numbers will increase and it'll go away on its own. So the most dangerous time is actually when it's the freshest, believe it or not. And so shake your milk every time. If you drink raw milk, shake it, close it up. Make sure there's air in there. Campylobacter are microaerophiles. They like a small amount of oxygen, like a low, very low amount of oxygen. So get lots of oxygen in there. Okay, bye.